Mary Millicent Miller was born in 1846 in Portland, Kentucky, a major river port of the time that is now a part of the city of Louisville. Her father, Andrew Garretson, was a steamboat engineer, so she had plenty of exposure to steamboats and riverine culture growing up. In 1865, she married George Miller, a successful steamboat builder and pilot with whom she had 4 children. Mary and George spent the summer months in Portland, where George constructed steamboats. During most other seasons, the Miller family would travel south on the 178-ton Selene, one such vessel that George built, to New Orleans, Louisiana. They would then haul freight and passengers on the Mississippi, Red, Washita, and Ohio rivers. While operating the Selene, Mary would work as the clerk and bookkeeper while George was the pilot. Each steamboat also required a licensed master or captain, a role which George was ineligible for given that he had color blindness. In 1883, a rival company reported to the Steamboat Inspection Service that George was working as both the pilot and master of the Selene, which was a crime. George then claimed that Mary was the ship's master and would obtain the appropriate license. Mary dutifully studied for the requisite exams and applied for the license. Her application was delayed for 8 months by the New Orleans Inspector of Hulls because of sexism. It was eventually passed along to the Secretary of the Treasury, Charles Folger, who ended up approving her license in January 1884. She was officially granted it on February 16th, becoming the first woman in the country to obtain one. The event was notable enough that a cartoon relating to her gaining a license and a photograph of her both appeared over the next few weeks in Harper's Weekly, a prominent magazine of the time. Mary managed to be a successful master despite the rough and sometimes violent world of 1880 steamboating and cultural attitudes arrayed against women in such an environment and in positions of power. She was generally regarded as being well-liked and kind. Additionally, other steamboat masters who knew Mary thought that she was quite skilled at such work, and her groundbreaking achievement helped to increase opportunities for other women to gain their steamboat master's licenses and work in similar roles. In 1890, the Millers sold the Selene due to a combination of George aging and the decline of the steamboat transportation industry because of increased railroad development and utilization for commercial purposes. In December 1891, the Millers traveled on a sailboat that George had constructed, the Swan, to New Orleans, with Mary and her children intending to become lighthouse keepers in Mississippi. However, Mary became ill with what was likely hay fever. Her condition degenerated into paralysis, which affected her for several years, and which she passed away from on October 30th, 1894, in Louisville. Mary has received several forms of recognition for her accomplishments. She was inducted into the American Merchant Marine Hall of Fame in 1993 and the National Rivers Hall of Fame in 1995. The Portland Museum in Louisville maintains a permanent exhibit about her. Finally, in July 2017, the city of Louisville renamed a newly purchased riverboat to the Mary M. Miller.